brings Planning Commission for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
T. Williams.
Here.
Sally.
Here.
McKinney.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
Renard.
Here.
K. Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item is approval of the minutes. Commissioners, everyone received a copy of the minutes from last meeting. Were there any changes or corrections? If not, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Development permits. First up, significant development permit, SD 2504, Meagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Meagan Thomas, current planner. This is a significant development request for a property located at the 400 block of North Hico Street. This is the site of the existing Simmons facility. The applicant is requesting to expand the existing facility by 19,581 square feet, as well as to pave the existing employee parking lot area located to the north of the existing facility. It should be noted the city administrator approved a request to fast-track this project to the April 15th Board of Directors meeting. That's next week, so following tonight's approval, it will be forwarded to next week's board meeting. This is the site plan for the proposal. The areas shown in green are the different areas of the expansion and the improvements. The proposal is consistent with the I-1 zoning and the existing uses of the properties. The applicant is proposing to improve the existing driveway along East Tahlequah Street, as well as proposing to construct a new driveway to the north of the employee parking lot area with access onto East Cornell Street. Additionally, the applicant is proposing to construct a sidewalk to the south of East Tahlequah Street with the connection shown to the existing crosswalk to allow for better pedestrian connectivity to the off-site employee parking area. The proposed improvements and additions are anticipated to provide an additional 125 new jobs to the community. And staff did receive one email questioning nature on this request. And staff finds that the proposed significant development as presented appears to meet all the requirements as set forth, subject to the conditions as stated in the staff report, and staff is available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Meagan. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? If not, commissioners, any questions or comments? We're going to make this easy tonight. Do I have a motion to accept significant development SD 2504?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we accept SD 2504 as presented.
Second?
Second.
There weren't any conditions. No.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
McKinney.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Sutton.
Yes.
Renard.
Yes.
K. Williams.
Yes.
T. Williams.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
The conditions.
Mr. Chair, we had two issues that for that. Number one, we would need to know what the recommendation was from the Planning Commission. Was that a recommendation to was the intent of that to approve that with a recommendation, forward that to the board with a recommendation of approval? And number two, we did need to have those conditions. If we could just verify that those were part of the motion and accept that without any objection.
Yes, that was my intention. Do we need to address that when we say move it forward to the board in the future when we make our motions? Is that a better way to do that?
The proper way would be to forward to the board with a recommendation. If you do vote to approve that, what you are actually voting on is to recommend the approval. In this case, it was said to accept, so we just need to verify that so we can get that language correct in our presentation to the board at the next meeting.
Yes.
Are there any objections, commissioners? Okay, so you have those changes?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Perfect. That will go before the board on April 15th, 2025. Next up, significant development permit SD 2505. This has been.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Planning Commissioners. Ben Rhoads, Senior Planner. Before you is a significant development permit occurring at 816 East Main Street on a property zone C2. The request is to construct a 5,800 square foot commercial retail store, which is a grocery store. This is replacing an existing store on the same location. And they are also requesting, like the last item, to fast track this to the April 15th Board of Directors meeting for review. Here on the left, you see the site plan as proposed. For those veterans on the commission that's been here for a couple of years, this might look oddly familiar to you. You would not be mistaken about that. You have reviewed this before. What happened is this went to the board actually in January 2024, so last January, a little more than a year ago. And they did not proceed with the construction of that project. So essentially, if they don't work within 1 year after approval, the project will expire. So they are now at the point where they're ready to proceed with the project as originally presented. So there are no changes, I'm circling the no there, to the previous approval that you guys looked at, I believe, in the December 2023 Planning Commission. There were some variances that were required at the time. Those run with the land, so they are still active. They did not expire. However, the other conditions that were tied specifically to the development approval did expire with that development. So those conditions are still needed. So we are, as the significant development as presented, does meet the minimum city requirements subject to the conditions as approval, as you can see listed there in the staff report as well as on the screen. So with that, staff is available for any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Are there any questions or comments from the public? If not, commissioners?
Just one question, Ben. This is exactly the same proposal as we approved a year ago, right?
Yes, sir. They
There are
have
no
not made-
changes.
Nothing substantial. I think they had something with a gas line that had to shift a couple of feet, and nothing substantial with the layout that you looked at before. So.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is that stretch of the street also going to be getting new sidewalks and curbs, and does this meet that requirement?
That's a great question. I'm going to defer that to the Public Works Director and Acting City Engineer Kevin Moore.
Kevin Moore, Public Works. That section of street is included in the East Main project that we're expecting from Lincoln to Maxwell Street. And so that's where that fee in lieu condition comes from. So essentially they're paying for those improvements along their frontage for what that would cost. And then it would be done all at once with that future project.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to recommend approval to the board? What?
That would work.
How do you
Mr.
want this worded?
The proper motion would be to forward with a recommendation of approval to the board with any conditions.
Perfect. So I'll entertain a motion to forward to the board with a recommendation of approval with stated conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Thomas,
Yes.
Sutton,
Yes.
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
McKinney.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. This will go before the board on April 15th, 2025. Next up, code amendments. Meagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Meagan Thomas, current planner. This is a proposed code amendment to amend Section 54-26 of the City Municipal Code with respect to the altering or modification of approved applications. Section 54-26 grants the city administrator the authority to make minor modifications or amendments to approved plans within 10% of any measurable standard, no later than a year following the Board of Directors' approval. Since the adoption of that 2019 code, staff has observed that the 10% of planned amendments permitted under administrative review does not appear to provide adequate flexibility for requested modifications. Additionally, staff has also observed that the 12-month expiration for allowed modifications failed to encompass the entirety of the construction process. So to promote timely yet responsible development, it appears that the percentage of allowed modifications and the expiration for such modifications as exercised through administrative review may be slightly increased to provide more flexibility. Therefore, the proposed amendment increases the percentage of modifications allowed under administrative review from 10% to 15%, and it also extends the timeframe for modifications to include the entirety of the construction process up until certificate of occupancy issuance. Finally, it should be noted this code amendment is being fast-tracked to the April 15th Board of Directors meeting, just like all the other projects tonight, and staff is available for any questions that you may have. Thank you. Oh, I should keep that.
Thank you, Meagan. I'm going to assume there's no comments or questions from the public. Commissioners, any comments or questions? I do have one. How is the percentage determined? Is that a dollar amount, a square footage amount? Where does that come from?
So it's any measurable standard that's in our code that can be found, like a setback, you know, if they were changing that, or lot coverage, if they were increasing their lot coverage by 10%, you know, that's a measurable standard. And those are just some examples, but there's been other changes that we've had over time. I think one was a dumpster enclosure. They had changed the sizing of it more than 10% of the original sizing of that dumpster enclosure. So it's
So
really,
it could be any one item.
yeah, any measurable standard.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion to forward to the board with the recommendation of approval.
Update, you want to entertain a motion to update code section 5426 to forward? to-
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Add that.
Motion to update code section 5426, forwarding to the board with a recommendation of approval.
We'll get it. It can take us a week, yeah.
We'll get there. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sutton,
Yes.
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up, board and staff approved permits.
Okay, so you guys have heard just about most of the stuff that's going to April 15th already, but these are the items going to April 15th, so next week's board meeting. We have the third reading for the 201 North College Street right-of-way vacation, and then we're setting the hearing date for another easement vacation at 3017 North Hico. And then the other two projects that you guys heard tonight, we have the Simmons expansion, which is being fast-tracked, and then the retail on East Main, also fast-tracked. And then a couple of staff announcements, and I'm gonna let Ben speak a little bit on the UDC updates, so.
Yeah. Ben Rhoads, Senior Planner. Yes, you'll see there on the slide that it stated that's been delayed till further notice. The reason for that is there's activity happening at the Arkansas State Legislature right now, some of which impacts parts of the proposed code. So we don't want to move forward with a code and then find out that we have to immediately amend it because it's not meeting state rules and state laws. So those are ever evolving. A bill can come up very quickly for a vote and end up becoming an act in a matter of days sometimes. So we really, for good housekeeping, want to have a pause on that because there are several bills that are planning related, dealing with zoning and other matters. So we're just wanting to wait until that is wrapped up, finished, and then we'll proceed kind of where we left off about a month ago, roughly, with stakeholder meetings and such, and we'll continue that going. We're probably gonna put the code back roughly about 60 days from what we originally were thinking at this point, but it's still coming to you, just not in May like we originally thought. So, and that's the update on UDC. So, yeah, I'm available for any questions if there are any. So.
Commissioners, are there any questions on the permits or the announcement?
I'd just like to make a comment for everyone to hear. We have already had a bill passed in the state legislature which removed the planning district from around the outside of our city. I've spoken to our representatives, and that's to Randy Torres, and I got a hold of Tyler Dees, but all of us need to do that because these other bills that are coming up are going to affect planning and zoning in huge ways. And I can email you the House bill numbers if you want to see them, but you need to read them. What I was told is that our representatives for our area are in the minority. So we want to make sure that we're taking action to talk about why we want to be able to plan and make sure that neighborhoods and buildings that are built next to our existing cities are up to standard. We've already lost that mile radius around the city. That's a goner. So be aware, please, and reach out to your representatives, especially Randy. I bet you can get a hold of him.
On Friday.
Huh?
On Friday.
And he ain't got time to talk to
Right
him.
now, he's pretty busy.
I know. And so, yeah, they're trying for our sake, but we really need to be aware of that and do what we can.
Any other questions or comments? You don't have
I
to.
will say, I just want to thank the staff. You guys, I've been on the commission here for a few months now, and I think you guys do a great job. You're very thorough, and you can tell you put a lot of pride in what you do, and I appreciate you.
You're here. Second the motion.
I know you helped me. If there's no other questions or comments, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.